for joining. It is wonderful to have you here. This conference, like I told you, in this we will discuss what are the top 3 entrepreneurial skills that made you a successful entrepreneur. If some of you have this fear of I am not successful yet, so at least you can say what are the skills, these entrepreneurial skills, 3 entrepreneurial skills that made you a better entrepreneur. Okay. So now what we will do is that we will spend a minute in introducing ourselves, except me. I think you have to introduce yourself, what business you are in. If you are in multiple businesses, please tell all your businesses because there is no restriction of businesses here. You can tell all the businesses that you are doing in this thing. So take a minute or 2 to explain it. Then we will go into the top 3 entrepreneurial skills that made you successful. Okay. So this is what it is. So I will go in an alphabetical order. So BE comes first, then BH. S is later. Okay. So Benedict, you are the
It is first. You don't want to go by that.
Yeah, you are first. I'll start with you. Give your introduction. Keep in mind, this will be seen by a lot of other people. So keep your introduction. We know each other here in this group, but some others don't know who you are. So give a proper introduction in terms of what business you are and what you do.
I'm Benedict Caesar. I represent a company called Pelican Services Private Limited. We are in the business of fire protection. We maintain fire extinguishers, fire alarm systems, and hydrants. We also install fire extinguishers, fire alarm systems, and hydrant systems. We also train people how to use them in case of a fire accident. And most of the time, we make all the companies fire preparedness. Like there is always a watch out for them. We tell them what are the things they need to keep in mind so that they don't have a fire accident. That's what we do. And apart from that, we also have some designer fire extinguishers, the cylinders that go with your decor. The small portable fire extinguishers that comes with your decor. So we are building a website for it. So it could be like by Scoop. You have a design, you just go to the website, you tell this is the design I would like to have on the fire extinguisher. We also do that. So very soon, maybe in month of August 1st, we'll be releasing, or by latest by August 11th. That is the company's Founders Day. So we'll make sure by August 11th we will do it. That's about it.
Okay, wonderful. So now we'll go to Bhavani. Bhavani, you can introduce yourself and you can tell what work you do and your company and all that. You can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone again. I'm Bhavani Naik. I am in the learning industry. I'm in the learning and development industry. I'm by qualification an instructional designer, a learning designer. I'm into e-learning design and development primarily. But I also do, for the past 21 years, I've been in this field. And also there's a lot of overlap, given that it is learning, there's a lot of overlap between this and the education and EdTech and all of that. So, and training, of course. So I do all of that, training mostly in the domain and so behavioral and soft skills and in that area, leadership, team building, and those areas, both for corporates as well as universities. I'm a visiting faculty for NMIMS for business communication. And yeah, I've had the pleasure of working with Harsha as well for a short stint. And yeah, that was a very good learning experience. Mostly wherever I'd like to put it this way, that wherever there's learning, I like to make a difference and make an impact so that learning happens. Yeah, there are a lot of resources available, but usually how to make it from nice to have to a need to have kind of a journey, and from abstract to concrete. That's the journey I walk the learners through. So that's briefly my introduction. Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you.
Pleasure always. Yes, sir. Satyanarayana Garu, the next is you. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I am Satyanarayana into waterproofing. So I stop all the water wherever you don't want. Unwanted water, I normally don't allow to come to you. Similarly, this waterproofing is very vast subject, but I do a small bit in that. Wherever we can see that these are the places the water, so we can do the patch-up works from the top. And where we don't know where the water is coming, still we have a operational, we can stop that. Suppose in the room, we are getting the water from outside of the area and we can't able to see that. We can do from inside only by putting the injections, sending the liquid. This liquid, once it touches the water, it forms, it gets foam in 300 times immediately within 10 to 12 seconds. So this kind of the thing is that we are collaborated with German technology. They support the machinery, liquid and other thing. My company name is Anjali Industries and they're from last 2 decades in the same line. That's all the business I do. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. So Benedict, coming to you, if you see here, I have compiled a list of what are those top 3 skills that made them successful. So if you actually count, if you see at the bottom of the screen, you may find our 114 skills that are there. But if you combine all these 114, because there are a lot of duplications in this. Many people said people, so about 30-40 people said people. So people became one. Though 30 people may have said, it becomes people, one as one. So this 114 will become lesser. It will become maybe 10 or 15. Your 3 things as innovation, honesty, and change. I think these are the 3 things that you have mentioned.
Yes.
Tell us how innovation, honesty, change help you become a better entrepreneur. I'm removing this. I'm putting you on the screen. I'm removing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
In innovation, what we did is, see, there is always a confusion when you do entrepreneurship or when you're in a business sport. Every time you find there is a competition that is probably, that is a little, intimidating. It's a bit intimidating. You go to a person, that guy, maybe he has 10 people working for him, but he has zero knowledge. He comes and says so many things and he tries to be intimidating. And then I'll tell you one very fantastic case what happened. We had gone to a place and there were so many things have happened over there. There was a general manager, there was a manager, there was a supervisor, and there's 7 people talking to them. And after their presentation, I was the only person over there, and he asked me, "What are you?" I said, "Sir, I own the company." The buck stops here. Like, I am the boss. You don't have to talk to anybody. This is what it is. Then he said, "I'm not interested in talking to you because you're the only person in the office. Like, something is wrong with you. You don't." Then I took out the most important thing, what those people did not have. It's called documentation. I actually, once when I realized that this is something I have to intimidate people, I actually wrote the complete IS 2190 in the documentation. So I gave the fill in the blanks. I did so much of documentation. When the person saw it, he saw a 10-page presentation. He said, "This is the documentation." And I told him, "Sir, it's very simple. We have a software. We will do all these things." And I told him the complete, this is a foolproof system. Your security guard has to be here. You have to appoint a safety person in your company. This person has to sign. That person has to sign. My person has to sign. There's so much of things. So when he saw there's a 10-page documentation, he said, "Man, you're a big company now." Suddenly, the whole thing changed just because of pure documentation. Then I did my website in such a way. Then I told him, "Sir, why this?" Then he said, "What is the proof?" I took him to my website and showed him that this is my website. You please go to my website. Everything that we do, it is there in the website. I don't have to tell you any lies. This is what it is. That the whole thing happened in such a way the company was really so much impressed. He said, "Great, man, this is what you need to do." And one more thing, I'm just reinventing my website now. See, in general, we don't use bonded labor in India. Okay. In general, we don't use child labor nowadays. And in principle, now we are all educated, we don't do it. So what I did, I hired one person. I told him, "Boss, we'll have also do this labor laws also into my website." So somebody goes to my website, if he sees what we do, like how do we treat our people, that we will implement this particular thing also. And there is one customer of ours, we work with them. They are very stringent in laws as per environment safety. So I have to give them a documentation stating that we don't do any damage to the environment. So I said, okay, when we have this confidence, we don't do it. Let's also implement it in our website. Let us do this in the website. And there are some. I have some hobbies. Hobbies like most of the people do not know. Like I have planted more than 1,000 saplings, which have turned into a very beautiful trees now. They are more than 20 years old. I never gave any regard to them. I thought this is my duty to plant it, but now I put it like social corporate responsibility. I planted it. It's a fact. They have grown up. The fact. And we also do this groundwater harvesting. Wherever we do something, we try to get into this. So this is the innovation I want to put on my website also to make the company is not big. As I told you, every time you go somewhere, you get intimidated by a bigger name, bigger people, and so many things that happen. So to avoid this intimidation, this is what I planned. I'm redoing my website. My documentation is becoming more stronger. Then I became ISO 9000 certification, MSME, so many other certifications. We are spending money to get the certification. This is the innovation we are putting in. So when we talk now, this is what it is. We don't talk pricing at all nowadays. Earlier we used to say, sir, please, sir, we are the lowest. Now we don't talk about the price. We said, these are the things we offer you. These are the things we're offering you. This is what it is. So this is part of the innovation that we are doing. Honesty, this is what exactly happened today also. We lost the order. Though my old client very much with us for a pretty long time, but we lost the order. Because my client did not like the honesty which I told him. See, there was a fire accident and the fire accident was burning for the past 5 days. I told him, sir, fire accident will not burn for 5 days. It's very simple. It is either it is done intentionally or, you are just not equipped for the whole situation. He didn't like it. He said he can go. So that was a little blunt because, why I didn't want to do it is I have my people who go to the site to do work. If my client is careless over there, I might be providing ESI, I might be providing so many things to my boys who go there. But, I cannot give back the life to them. Something goes wrong. See, something goes wrong over there. At the most, ESI might give them money, whatever, but that fellow cannot be replaced over there. I told the customer, sir, this is a wrong step. You're taking in the wrong direction. And we're a little risky. Customer got it very clearly. He said, you can leave. And we lost the order today. Because of that total, I didn't want to risk my boy's life, and the amount of money they give us is nominal. And our life is worth more than that. So we lost the order. I have no ill feeling towards it that we lost it. But I was very honest about what we did, what they did. And as far our honesty is also concerned, we, as I told you earlier, documentation. When we sell something to the customer, we attach a data sheet along with it. The batch number, this and that. The customer, either you should get confused or you should think, man, I'm getting so much of document from this person, If you want an ISO certification, somebody coming to check Pelican service, what are they doing? We just have to show the documentation. Everything is government stamped, sealed, photocopied, given. My source, if I'm buying from Bombay, that is coming to me and I'm giving it to them. So I'm giving the warranty, everything I'm transferring it to them. So the customer knows the honesty about it. And I'll tell you one day what happened was a fire accident. This is 3-4 years back, was a fire accident. So the customer had a doubt that we may not have given them a right product. So what he did, he called our competitor and the competitor gave them a good, fantastic thing saying that, sir, this is not the correct product, you got it. So the customer called and told me, we came to know this is not the correct product. Then I gave him the phone number, address of the customer from where we buy. The batch number, everything. I said, sir, please give the batch number. It is there. He said, no, kidhar ki chalega. I said, no problem. I will provide you the batch number and so. Please call the thing, check the website, whatever it is. He went to that customer. They saw it and they gave the batch number, everything what I told them. Then my customer sent it to a third-party laboratory, not trusting the manufacturer also. Even the third-party laboratory person said, what these people are telling is correct. The product, what they've mentioned, the year, the manufacturing year, and the product combination is correct what the vendor is telling and the manufacturer is telling. Customer is very happy. He said, listen, when I'm doing something wrong like this happens, So people will come from outside also and ask us so many questions. So we should be prepared. The third party verification has happened. The vendor is honest. The principal who was manufactured is honest. And third party also. So that way also our honesty was proved right in both the cases. And one more incident, I think the last I will talk about honesty. A customer bought 100 fire extinguishers. We did not know the customer. We just happened to go to them and we said, to get into a service contract with us. So we told them, sir, we cannot get into a service contract with you. Unfortunately, he said, why? Because the fire extinguisher has a name. It is everything, but it doesn't have an address. Who manufactured it? Nobody knows it. I said, it's a fake fire extinguisher. It doesn't have ISA mark. Something goes wrong. You will not get any benefit out of it. Customer said, no, nothing doing. I will take the risk. You will not believe it. When we were doing the training program, one fire extinguisher exploded, hit the person in the face, and the company had to spend 2.5 lakh rupees just to reconstruct the boy's face. We were adamant, we said we will not do it, but he said, don't worry, I am there to look after. We gave it in writing. There was a police case. I wrote the copy to the policeman, in the police station. I said, listen, I've already given in writing to the company stating that these are fake cylinders. And the management said, don't worry, you do your job, we will do our job. So we were let go of, not in Nalgonda district. The policeman said, okay, go, or else I would have been in prison.
Yeah, these are dangerous things.
Yes. So honesty always, no matter what, honesty pays. So that was innovation. This is what honesty. And the third one is, sir, is
Change.
Change.
change. See, right from the company's inception, we were always in service oriented. We never thought we will sell something to anybody. We were not in the selling mode. We never sold anything to people. We were always to sell, like, services. This is what it is. You need to do. You need to have expensive things. We never tried to sell anything cheap to a customer. We said, this is an expensive product we're selling. Please buy this. And my classic example is, अरे सर मेरे को दारू पीना है रात में ना तुम्हारे को अच्छा सामान बेच रहा हूँ मैं दारू पी के सो जाता हूँ and if it will work I am so confident over it. That's what I used to tell them earlier. And customer used to think like, अरे this is the concept you sell expensive. Said, yes. That's a funny way of putting it. So the change factor is the new product that we bought off is called Winfire. It is a trademark registered company, Winfire. It is going to be a fire extinguisher of your choice. It's not going to be a fire extinguisher you need to have in your office. You will think, okay, my office is as beautiful as this. So to add safety to it, I'm going to have a fire extinguisher designed to the decor. It's not going to be red in your face. It is going to be in white, yellow, green, blue, whatever color you prefer. And if by chance, if your Vastu Guru says, in this place, there should be something yellow. I said, yes, I am there. You can have a fire extinguisher yellow in color over there.
Got
It
it.
is going to be expensive, and it is going to be a top-rated fire extinguisher because you're going to make sure the fire extinguisher has a shelf life of 3 years, and it is going to work when it retreats the most. So it is going to be a little touch expensive, but it's going to come in a design you would like. Probably if you want to put your face on it, or you want to put something that you like, maybe 1983 World Cup, India won, so you can have Kapil Dev's photograph or Sachin Tendulkar's 100, anything you feel like. Or you can put a family's photograph. You see, okay, you want to save your family, you want to make money for them, so inspiration, you can have a fire extinguisher photograph on. So that is what is the change. So we're going to get it, and most probably in August, by August 11th, we will definitely launch it.
Will it have any legal this thing that the fire extinguisher has to be red color? Is anything like that?
Sir, it is a suggestion. It is always nice to have it in red color because it is visible. The wavelength of red is high. You can see it from any direction. So that is the idea behind having it in red. But if you're having it in green, it is going to be a internal thing. This is a fire extinguisher, In a factory, it should be red. But in your office, it can be in blue because it is going with your decor. It is a fire extinguisher. They installed the fire extinguisher. The architect came, he said, I will cut off your bloody head. We spent so much of money, decorated and you're putting this eyesore dirty things in front of everywhere, and he made us remove all the fire extinguishers. He said, throw it inside one dabba over there and keep it. I said, what if something happens? If it happens, let it burn. Nothing to worry, but nothing should happen. not spoil. In one place, when we installed fire alarm system, the architect came and told me, can you put the fire alarm system above, like inside the false roofing, so it is not visible from here? That it is an eyesore kind of a thing. So to remove the eyesore kind of a thing, we thought that we should get it. It may not be a big sale, but it's going to be something that is going to, like, when a person doesn't have a fire extinguisher, to say, yes, okay, I'll have one fire extinguisher at least, because I have a green color background, I put a yellow or blue. Already I'm going to give one to a customer now. So this is going to happen. So this is the change what we're going to get in, sir. And hopefully this result, maybe 1 year from now, we will see how it goes.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Great explanation. Yes, Bhavani, we can go. Just be mindful of the time. We have about 10, 11 minutes or 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I will still stay off the video because I can sense a lag in the audio. So if that's all right.
No problem, doesn't matter. Go ahead. Do what you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So the three skills that I mean, I think no skill is less important than the other. But the top three skills, of course, I believe, and I have kind of experienced it all my few years. I've been, as an entrepreneur, I've kind of worked for more than 14, 15 years now of the 21 years of experience. Three, I believe, is effective communication, creative problem solving, and resilience, as it is already listed there. Maybe coming from a little bit of a bias, but all my life I feel effective. I mean, communication we all do, but we barely focus on the effectiveness of communication. So basically, what I am saying and what I intend to say, has it actually gone through as what I intended to say? How did it land on the other person? What did they understand from it? These are the kind of challenges we always face when we are communicating, especially in a business scenario. So one very stark example, a very small but an important example that I can share is when I'm in design, so we were following a lead, and I was part of the team with the sales team, with the business development team as a lead design person to create that kind of sense of credibility, to validate the credibility of the company, to be able to say, this is what it is, design is all about. I was collaborating with another company, so we went together and we pitched for it. And the one thing, now here is a gentleman who was pure tech person, did not understand, who did understand design from a tech perspective, but not from a abstract to, it's very hard. What I'm trying to address is very hard to express how we take that journey from the abstract thought level to a concrete, evident, palpable, experiential, outcome oriented something, they look for that. So in that design, there was one, he said, no, this is not talking to the learners. I want a character to be talking to them. This audio sounds very odd. I want a character there. So I tried explaining that. I tried in various examples, everything I gave to explain that it is not relevant in this context because this is a simulation-based learning. You're a tech company. What you need is the screenshots and the actual focus on the software screens itself rather than the character talking. He said, no, I want the character. So at that point, the sales team was getting very frustrated. So I said, it's all right. We will show you with character. So we went back. But you will have to, our opinion is that it is not appropriate there, but that's fine. Since you need it, we have to respect the customer's need. We'll give it to you, but should you be honest, be honest with yourself when we actually bring it, and you let us know, we'll proceed with it. Your cost will go up by so much. The moment they heard about cost, of course, they rethought. And we went back, came back with the prototype, and we actually showed him with a couple of characters, how it will work. And he was like, who asked you to put that there? And we were all like taken aback. He said, and then we said, okay, all right. So the point I'm trying to make here is, however hard you try to say it in words, sometimes a visual just makes all the difference. And how you connect with the person in front of you to be able to understand requirement, to be able to, tell them what is relevant. Here, we had no problem putting a character there. We were getting more money for it. We had no problem. But it also should make sense. And this is where the honesty and the credibility that Benedict was mentioning also comes into the picture, very rightly so. So this is also kind of validates the creative problem solving, that I can, map it to this as well. And it's an extension of it. But creative problem solving, I feel, is a skill that we all need to really develop. And because very often on the go, on the fly, on your feet, you have to think of something. And of course, there is the scientific way of solving the problems. We'll have to keep both in mind. And as an entrepreneur, I have experienced this time and again, whether it is to do with costing, whether it is to do with design, whether it is to do with how you sequence the courses, what is it, training need analysis, gap need analysis, no matter what I've experienced, creative problem solving is what comes. There you connect with what exactly you become very solution oriented rather than keep going on thinking about the problem. And you'll think out of, lateral thinking comes in, you think in different perspectives, everything comes in. And then somehow you hit. There is also a lot of, I believe, a lot of intuitive thinking that comes in here. And this is what will click. I believe that plays a lot of importance. Resilience, of course, the most important ingredient. And by nature, I think temperamentally, it comes to me otherwise, but I feel even so, it is very important as an entrepreneur, especially in this pandemic phase that we are all going through. I'm sure all of us have gone through drastic ups and downs, and it has hit us very badly. Some of us have sailed through it. Some of us had to bail out. A lot of things have been happening. So the way I handled it, fortunately, I didn't have to, since I'm an independent entrepreneur, I didn't have the burden of paying salaries and maintaining an infrastructure and an office and those kind of things. So that part of it was not much of a difference. And I have been, being in the e-learning business, I have been, it was not a very difficult transition for me to shift to the virtual world, because I have been working in remotely. I do work mostly on the phone and on email and on Zoom. Zoom was always there, but earlier it was Skypes and other things, Skype and other technology. So adapting to technology, fortunately, is something that comes to me. But the one thing that I have seen, in spite of all that, when it is no business kind of a scenario, as it is, we are, as independent consultants, we are the last to be sought after. And I'm being very honest here. You want the big companies to be first in-house and everybody turning in-house. I literally did training I preferred doing pro bono than taking what they wanted me to pay. So I prefer doing that. For me, the way I looked at it, and this is where the resilience comes in, I believe, is that the way I looked at it, I am learning. And as long as my learning curve is on the upward trend, at some point I will be a better version of myself, so that once the pandemic is through, I can always claim to be a better person and a better entrepreneur, and bring that, then the rest of it will fall in place. So I'm okay with that. So that's how I did a lot of, pretty much the whole year. The first year we didn't have any business, but I attended a lot of sessions. I tried to get my learning curve. I did networking. I touched base with all the existing customers and previous customers, everybody I was connecting with. And that is where I think I learned my lesson of that my choice of not being on social media was not very good decision, good choice. So I tried, and so their resilience comes in. It is very, very difficult to not get flustered. It's a common thing, but to be resilient in this situation and believing that at some point you will see the light at the end of the tunnel is hard but required.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Satyanarayana Garu,
Yes, my 3 skills are: one is confidence. I'm very confident.
Okay.
Whatever I want to do, forget about whether I'm doing or not. That is a different issue. But I'm very confident. Suppose I want to do this, definitely I will do it. That confidence is at present from last maybe 10 to 12 years. Before that, there was some other skills which brought to me to this level. When I go to a client, I will assume that I'm getting the order, but sometimes I'm failing. But still, when I go, I feel that I'm getting the order. I will try to convince that way. Before going to them, no, I will be knowing the client background. And when I go and when they talk, some 10% I try to teach, I try to tell him that these are the things, these are the things, these are things. And on that, no, he will be getting some, okay, this man can do something like that. That is a confidence, one. The next comes to the dedication. The work which I try to take or just plan to take, the whole day, 24 hours, I just go on thinking about that. Okay, this work has to be done. How to do it? Okay, I know this much. Is there any other people are there who can be doing better than me, or maybe there are other methods? I will go on searching here, there, and known people are trying this. Ye kaam kaisa karna hai? I will be gathering it, and I will be seeing 100%. I have to do it because that's one backlog in my personality is I cannot fold my hands and stay in front of the client. Sorry, sir, ye galti ho gaya. It's a very rare case as of now. So the dedication means, a small example I will tell you. Around 25 years back, I was into different business, and I was trying to a client that is PP, it's private public this thing. I was trying to get that order, hook or crook, because I challenged my MD. So I was as follow-up, I was used to go and order. And once what happened, they used to issue the salary pay slips on the last day, and then next day the salary. This is Ideal Salvo, Ideal Chemicals. I was going, so he has given the order to someone else, and that fellow is not able to deliver due to some issues. Then he called me. I went, that is the 30th day, and 31st the material supposed to be delivered, and first is the issue of the pay slips. And my factory was there in Vijayawada, Gannavaram. From here there is a 300 kilometers. And he called me in the afternoon, 11 o'clock, says that I want this. Can you do it? If the material has to be prepared here, go and get the printing in Vijayawada, then bring back to this fellow, and within this 24 hours is the time. Basically, I know I cannot, but I committed. So yes, I can do it.
What is this? This is that payslip with money cover.
Yes, it is a continuous form, sir. It has been printed in the
Correct.
on.
Yeah, I know this. We used to do it in SOL also. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, yeah. So I took the order. I went to office, and I said that prepare it, the design and everything. Those days there is no computer. Only manually we have to write all and fix it. I took that by 4 o'clock. The artwork is approved. Then I called the MD who was sitting in Vijayawada that day. I said, this is what. How come you accepted? Do you know that? No, what is the distance? This, that? No, sir, I want to do this. Then how to do it? I said, I will do it. Just keep the thing ready. These are the things are required. I took the bike. Those days, the Vijayawada going, it takes minimum 8 hours. I took the two-wheeler, and straightway with that, I went to Vijayawada. I reached early morning 4 o'clock. It has taken only 2 hours to print. And one box I carried with my bike and reached 12 o'clock in Hyderabad. When delivered, that fellow says that you are supplying my material or someone else by changing the name. I said, no, sir, your material. So that fellow is checked.
Huge.
That fellow has checked everything, and then he called me and given all the 27 formats. He says that take this and give me the quotation. Next day, we have submitted. Within 1 month, we got the order. That is the biggest order in that organization's first time in their life. That is what then I thought, okay, if anything, if I do with the dedication, if I put my dedication, then 100% can be done. There are sometimes in the late night, around 1 o'clock also sometimes, it has happened. I have done the similar. And we used to do only, see, I am talking about the year is 93, 92. The Sol, what Standard Pharma you are talking about, those companies we used to do. Sol Pharma, Standard Company, this Apollo, these are. So the dedication is, it's a by birth, I know, I don't know. This has come by birth. And next comes the motivation to learn. First,
Motivation to learn.
Learn and execute. See, basically, I accept the order first. I don't know how to handle it. Then immediately I start learning. And I do. See, recently what I have started that.
1 minute, you know who also did this?
Huh?
You know, there is one big man who did this, same thing.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, what is there?
His name is Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yes.
He took the order, then went back and created that.
Yes. So always, because when I go to a client related to my business, it is not that just all of a sudden I'm doing some business and we say asking some computer one. No, a similar business but upgraded. I go there when he says that, okay, when you do this, can you do this? Parallelly, just my inner self says that yes, this can be done. I accept it. And for that, I lost a lot of money and time, but still I gained back. And when I don't know any work and I accepted, to learn that, I am very fast to learn. Generally, suppose I am interested to have a work. So I may take, it may take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to learn. But suppose I accepted an order, immediately within 10 to 15 days, I see that I learned all the thing, maybe 1 or 2% here and there, but I am very thorough because 24 hours that is running in my mind because I have committed. I cannot fold my hands and stay in front of the client. So this is what, as of now, what I am there.
Super.
Yes.
Very well presented. Okay, so I'll go in the reverse order. I'll try to summarize what you people have said. So Satyanarayana said that he has 3 things: confidence, dedication, and motivation. So confidence is that just do it. Definitely I have to do this. That is the confidence. If I take up something, I have to do it. So for that, what you do is you get the background of the client, you get to know what the client does, then you go and then start sharing knowledge about what needs to be done. Okay, so that is one aspect. Second is dedication. This is also a must-do thing. This has to be done. So for which you keep thinking all the time. You plan as to what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, how it can be improved, so that it can be better than others. And whatever may be the thing, you don't want to be in a sorry state of affairs. So that is the reason why you will meet deadlines and you're always focused to do that. And that is where dedication is required. Without dedication, it cannot be done. And then the motivation to learn and implement. So accept the order and then do it, which is a good way of Steve Jobs' way of doing it. But you very rightly said, this is the word you used. Inner self says I can do it. In that movie, Steve Jobs movie, we can say that Steve Jobs says that, yeah, we can do it. Don't worry, I know how to do it. Get it done. We don't have it. Don't worry, we will come back to you. So in that thing, Steve Jobs even takes the advance. He takes the advance, goes back, does it, and then comes back. It is like that. For a job, he doesn't know what to do. He takes advance also. And one good thing that you have said is you are a fast learner. Then comes Bhavani. Bhavani is more about effective communication. This is a very important thing. This happens to everyone. Mostly it happens to salespeople. When you connect with the clients or whomever with you are dealing with, even it could be colleagues, understanding the requirements and having a correct match of expectations, that is the most important thing. That's where communication plays a big role. So creative problem solving is absolutely essential for anybody, even to develop a product. Now you told about costing, design, sequencing of the program, analysis, being solution oriented, lateral thinking, and all of that. But yeah, this is very important for everyone because creative problem solving is very much required. Clients expect us to solve their problems. That's why they come to us. So we have to find a way of telling them how it needs to be done. Okay, and even Benedict Caesar has actually given a lot of examples about telling them, but sometimes the clients also don't have that thing of understanding. When we are telling that's not how you do it, this is how you do it. Then comes resilience. Resilience is very important. The pandemic has taught each one of us how to go about it. So getting up back to what we are doing, that is what is resilience. And then we go to Benedict Caesar. We gave some fantastic examples. Intimidating is a word which is true. Actually, you get intimidated by the competition most of the time. Hierarchy, big fellows, and all that. The brands also sometimes the way they sit, they talk. It is very intimidating. So the way you said, how to convert them from intimidation to inspiring so that they work for us or they take us. Okay. So you inspire them by way of showing documentation, website, also some large purpose issues like groundwater, harvesting, not doing bad to the environment, how you follow laws on people, ISO certification standards, basically saying that, this is a minimum standard that I will live up to. And those kinds of things, focusing them is very important. These things will actually play on the minds of customers very well. Then honesty, which you talked about, you don't mind even being blunt because the cost of life, because your business, if something goes wrong in your business, it will be devastating. It can take lives. So you say that I don't care, but what is this? Can lose client for honesty. I don't mind losing a client for honesty. Honesty is required. Otherwise, it will cost lives. It's a very this thing. So how you do honesty? You do honesty by way of showing transparency in the work. So transparency is showing data sheets, standards, give multiple copies to them so that they also comply with ISO. If they are ISO compliant organizations, they also comply and all that. So you try to maintain the transparency so that anybody when looking at the document can say, yeah, these are the things that are done. So that is a level of honesty, and honesty, you've connected it to transparency and making it better. Then comes change. Change, you said something like, we never sell because we are in the business of service. So there's no point going and saying this is that and selling it. It is that, and the new change that you are bringing about, evolving, is to bring designer extinguishers, which are top-rated extinguishers, which have very good quality, go by you said the words you used is extinguisher of your choice, so that is what you will do. So this is a change that you want to bring about. Wonderful. I wish you all the best. So is there anything else you want to do before we wind up? Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to say one thing about this pandemic. I think this pandemic is actually, I have seen it this way. A non-diabetic person becoming diabetic is what this pandemic is all about. There's nothing big about it. You're going to live, your life, if somebody is diabetic, let's presume, or somebody gets this, I don't believe in it. I exercise, do everything. Somebody says, okay, you become diabetic. You're going to be diabetic all your life, or whatever it is. This pandemic is going to be there. Don't worry, leave it. It's like, okay, ठीक है, diabetes आ गया, क्या करेंगे? दवा खाए, exercise करे, walking करे, सब कुछ करे, and go on with life. Every time talking about pandemic as if it's something dinosaurs has come back from extinction is nothing we have to believe in, because we are an advanced superior race now currently with the kind of medicines what we are having, the technology what we've got. So we don't really have to worry. There are guidelines. Let's follow guidelines and let's not contribute pandemic. It's like, ठीक है यार, शक्कर की बीमारी आ गई. Let's continue with life. That's as simple as that. Nothing beyond. Maybe it takes time for people to think like that, but it is going to happen. Like.
Yeah, that is true. It will go back. Yeah, go ahead, Satyanarayana.
Regarding this pandemic and death, life, this I never bothered.
Correct.
Because if there is a day, and
End date is there.
there is a day. We believe the day is already fixed. Only the method, going this way, going that way, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya.
Okay, so thank you very much. Enjoy life. I will do another session. It's a PowerPoint. I'll give you a complete rundown about how people said what are those top 3 entrepreneurial skills that brought them success. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir.